start with this adventure at the bottom of Mount Kenya. I personally call it a heaven for wild animals, but it's also known as the Solio Reserve. It was such a beautiful morning, and the moment we drove into the reserve, we straight away saw two big rhinos having a conflict. It kind of felt like entering Jurassic Park at this time. Shortly after this impressive encounter of the two rhinos, not far away from them, we heard some scary noises out of the long grass. It was the king of the animal kingdom mating with his queen. Did you guys know that during the mating season, when the females are receptive, which means they're ready to have babies, the male, the king, will pick and choose his favorite female and separate himself from the bride for about 3 to 4 days. During those 3 to 4 days of separation and privacy, they will mate every 20 to 30 minutes. That basically means they're having sex up to 50 times a day. Whilst we were witnessing this loving and beautiful moment between the lions, we all of a sudden realized we are being observed.
This is actually our very first early morning here in the Solio Reserve. We already spotted 2 mating lions, which we observed for about a half an hour, and now we came across a big troop of baboons. Now, did you guys know that baboons have a very similar social behavior like spotted hyenas? This is why I personally believe that they are super incredible and fascinating animals. Also, I bet you didn't know that a baboon male can grow his canines up to the size of a lion's canine. This is pretty crazy, isn't it? And another super interesting fact about these specific baboons is that they are known for hunting small gazelles. That's pretty crazy. Alright, that was amazing now, but we've seen enough of the baboons now and we want to go and find some other animals.
Later this day, I had the honor to meet the people behind Solio. They're doing such phenomenal work, and I learned a lot about the history of it, as well as the future plans of them. With a profitable business, but rather with conservation efforts directly for the animals. The Solio Reserve is also known as the paradise for rhinos. I also had the pleasure to meet an incredibly dedicated rhino specialist.
Rhinos are not aggressive. If I invade your personal space, you will go like this, push me away. And that's exactly what a rhino does. My name is Felix Patton. I'm from the UK. I spend my time identifying individual rhinos for in places where people don't know how many rhinos they've got, and then documenting their behavior.
He told me some of the most extraordinary stories out of his experience with rhinos.
Of a branch to pull myself up, and the branch snapped and I fell flat on the back on the floor. But I was lucky because this rhino, it knew it was me when I fell on the ground, so it turned around and walked away.
But not only that, to be honest, it was so enriching and enlightening and fascinating to exchange with a person who has been in the field of conservation for so many years. And there is always something new to learn. Look at this, guys. I'm sitting here right in front of a huge heap of rhino dung. Now, there's actually quite some interesting things and facts to know about that. In this conservancy here, we've got 2 different rhino species. The black rhino, who's a browser, and the white rhino, who's a grosser. Now, in order to be able to find out what kind of rhino did that, we can only look at the poop and say, okay, we only see gross in here, so that means that must have been a white rhino. Because if it was a black rhino, you would see whole branches and stuff like that in it, which is here not the case. Now, there is another very interesting fact which I didn't know myself before. This here is a rhino toilet. That's a huge place where all the rhinos gather and do their business in. And why do they do that? They actually do that in order to be able to communicate with one another. Because a male would maybe approach this area in order to do his business, sniff on the other dungs, and like that he can identify the females which are in heat and ready to mate, and also identify the other rhinos in the area, so he knows who he's dealing with. Now, if we talk about rhino toilets, you actually call them midden. Alright, now let's move on to one of the most dominant and impressive inhabitants of the African savanna, the African buffalo. Did you guys know that even though they can reach a body weight of 1,000 kilograms, which is 1 ton, they can run up at speeds of 60 kilometers per hour, which is roughly 35 miles per hour. Isn't that incredible? They usually live in herds of up to 500 individuals, but during rain season in the Serengeti, that number jumps up to thousands of individuals in one herd. Having already said that they are very dominant and known to be aggressive, African buffaloes kill more hunters a year than any other species. Alright, now let's move on to a little bit a more friendly and laid-back companion of the African savanna. We are speaking about the West African giraffe. Did you guys know that giraffes can eat more than 30 kilogram food per day? They are mainly browsers, which means they are eating leaves and buds on trees. The most mind-blowing thing about eating giraffes is that they have a specially adapted tongue and mouth which allows them to eat thorny branches without getting poked. And it gets even crazier because giraffes produce such a sticky saliva that coats any thorns which end up in their mouth in order to protect their mouth and the digestive tract. And now I'm quickly testing your attention. How many giraffes did you just see in this sequence? Comment in the comments below. It's just unbelievable what a huge biodiversity this place has to offer. Slowly but surely, this beautiful day came to an end. And as the sun was setting and we thought we're done, we spotted something which immediately reminded me of my animal family back home. Yo guys, that's so cool. We just spotted 8 lion cubs. They're right behind me at the river edge. And the crazy thing is they actually never move away from the spot because there is a lot of other animals being a threat to them out there. So until they're not, a solid size where they can protect themselves, they will always try to be in that security zone, that's how I call it, so that when something happens or something goes down, they can hide away in the bush again. Now the cubs are actually not alone here. The adult females are hiding away behind them in the riverbed. Now the cool thing is that whilst one part of the females are going out to hunt, the other females are taking care of the babies, and they do even babysit the offspring of other females. Isn't that cool? They're so social actually. It was impressive to see how gentle the big lions, the lionesses, as well as the king of the pride, was treating the little cubs. It kinda reminded me on my relationship with the lions, because they definitely treat me much softer than they do one another. So now the magical time at the Solar Reserve has come to an end. And we will definitely be soon back again. Alright guys, this was an incredible trip here in Kenya. I'm super grateful for everything we got to experience, but now it's time to hop on this plane and fly straight to Uganda, and there the chimpanzees are waiting for us. Alright, welcome. My name is Schneider. I'm gonna be your co-pilot today. The flight is gonna be around 25 minutes. It's a beautiful morning. We got the Mount Kenya right to our right side, or your left side. And yeah, fasten your seatbelts properly and enjoy your flight.
Enjoy.
I gotta be honest, that came super unexpected, because the pilot was a huge fan of mine and he decided that I'll have the opportunity to literally fly the airplane. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a safe flight, and we all wish you a safe journey. Yeah, safe journey. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Uganda. It was my very first time in Uganda. I didn't know much about Uganda before, but I can promise you guys, the day I arrived, I was overwhelmed by the positive vibe and the beauty of this country. Alright guys, we just arrived in Uganda, and the first thing we're gonna do is go and see some Longhorn Kettles. And the most impressive thing about them, as the name is saying, is their horns. They are huge. Let's go and check them out.
Favorite the color. You know what color?
The Longhorn Kettles is the national animal of Uganda. This is why it was a must to just see them, experience them, and learn about them.
You are calling, a friendly calling.
Okay.
So the crazy thing about those huge horns, and they are actually pretty small, we got some much bigger over there, is that they're actually empty inside and only the last part is solid. But from here down to the actual forehead,
yes,
they're completely empty. It's like a shell.
There is
After we've seen now Uganda's national animal, I want to take you guys with me right into the jungle. Welcome to the incredible, stunning Chimpundu Lodge in the middle of the Kibale forest. This place, guys, is so amazing. I literally felt like Tarzan being located in the middle of this forest. Alright guys, so we just entered the Kibale forest in Uganda and we're on the lookout for chimps. But this forest is also home to tons of other animals. Let's go and check them out. Wow guys, check this out. We got some chimpanzee poop here and it looks pretty fresh, so I believe they must be somewhere close to us. The time has come. Not even 20 meters after we spotted that poop, we found the actual chimp up there on the palm tree. And this is my very first time in life I spotted a chimp in the wilderness of Uganda. Now we just tried to find out how old he is. Chimps, they can get up to 50 years old. And looking at his physics, we believe he will be between 10 and 15 years. Now the chimp we just spotted right now belongs to the Kenya Uganda chimp community. Now the community was named after the lions which used to live here before the forest took over. That's actually crazy. Now since he's up there feeding off the palm tree, that means the whole community must be somewhere in this environment. Let's go and find them. You cannot imagine how exciting and inspirational it was for me to walk on foot through the actual jungle. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, shows us that there's elephants in this forest. This is called a wallowing area, where they roll in the mud in order to cool down their temperatures and get rid of parasites. Here's another sign that tells us that the chimps are very close. This fruit is called Saba Florida
and is very tasty not only to chimps but also to us humans.
And then the moment has come.
They are right there. They are right there.
Wow, I don't know how to put it in words. But to be around these animals so close in their natural habitat, to follow them through the dense jungle and observe them so close up, that was one of the literally most amazing experiences I've ever had in my life. And I started imitating the exact same things they did.
Alright, so currently we're all on the lookout for food. And finally we found some foods. Check them out right on top of the tree. Now, a very interesting thing about their social structure is that it is set up into 5 levels. We've got the alpha male who has all the rights and is prestige to everybody else. Then we have his deputy, the beta male. Then we have the highest ranking males, the middle ranking males, and the low ranking males. And this is the structure. After all the males, you'll find all the females in an individual structure again. Now, if you observe them while feeding, you can see that the higher ranked males, they can get higher in the tree and with that get the sweeter fruits.
Later in the afternoon, when they were on the search for food, they moved out of the protected Kibale forest onto a farmland. It was so impressive and fascinating to see them eat, especially the reed, how they peeled it off completely in order to get to the enjoyable inside. Their eating techniques are so incredibly intelligent and efficient. It was unbelievable to observe that. And every single time I looked into their eyes, they reminded me so much to us humans. After this satisfying and delicious lunch, they headed straight back into the forest.
This is incredible, guys. We're just following them throughout the entire day, monitoring them in their natural habitat.
After this entire day spending with them, they felt so comfortable with us that they even took a nap on their back, exposing their most vulnerable part, the belly part, to us. And now is siesta time. Some of the group took a little nap, whilst others took a little, let's call it dessert, in the canopies of the forest.
So you guys have just seen this boy over there eating leaves. They do eat a lot of leaves, but leaves also serve as tools to drink water and wipe their asses, as well as clean the wounds. They would squash the leaves, create some sort of a sponge, put it into the water, and then drink the water like that.
We were actually supposed to spend another 2 days close up with the chimpanzees, as well as later on a full 4 days with a group of gorillas. But unfortunately, we had the outbreak of malaria, so the entire team felt sick, had to recover for almost a week, and then we flew back again. And one more time, a huge thank you to Madame Florence and her husband from the Chimpundu Lodge for taking such well care not only of myself, but the entire Hakuna Mipaka team during that malaria outbreak. The journey continues. See you soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see what's next, then make sure to subscribe my YouTube channel right now. And if you want to see more content, you're so welcome to follow my other socials as well. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys later.